fall in love within a couple of weeks. So I'm going to put an asterisk on that, that if you don't fall in love within a couple of weeks, that doesn't mean you're not going to fall in love. And not everybody does fall in love. But I do feel that, getting to know someone and getting these feelings and just like you connect in such a way that it feels intense can happen. But you can also fall out of love very fast. And love that can last isn't love that happens overnight over a couple of weeks, because you can fall in love with someone but then realize that that they're an international drug dealer that has enemies in the diamond industry and whatever, hashtag
Yeah.
Tinder swindler and all of that. So you can kind of fall in love and get those feelings of, I'm feeling very good and bubbly around them. But what's sustainable is living with this person for a while and getting to know them in their everyday life and things like that. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can find love in the dark, in the pods. I think it's, you can, okay, I'm going to change that. I don't think you can find sustainable love in the pods. And the proof is that most of the people that got married are no longer married.
Yeah.
The people who are still married are the ones that kind of, they lived together and they went through some stuff and now they are stable. But the ones that got to know each other and stayed together for a bit, they just realized that they weren't made for each other.
Yeah. And a lot of them don't even make it to the wedding part. Like a lot of them don't even get married. And I think the faster the process is, the faster it will also end. I feel like when you rush things, it's like you're condensing so much and it's sort of like overwhelming that you overlook so many important aspects. And then when you finally have time to breathe and look at it and suddenly, oh, maybe we're not that suitable, because you're sort of rushing into it that you just ignore a lot of things and you're more blinded to a lot of other aspects that you can't see because you're focusing too much on just rushing and rating and clout and like exposure. And I don't know why I'm saying things 3 times, but I feel like um no, physical attraction isn't the most important thing. I do feel like it's important in this like situation. I don't think it's that much of a, because again, when you come on this show, they're not going to bring an ugly person. They're not going to bring the average Joe. You know that they're going to bring someone who is conventionally beautiful, or at least sort of beautiful. They're not going to bring anyone who doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So that you're not going to be completely screwed, even if you like sort of whatever. But I feel like, again, you can say a lot about a person when you're just with them in the same room, when you're getting eye contact, when you're feeding their hand on your knee, when you're sort of with them. And I feel like, yes, maybe for the first couple of dates could be interesting to talk and ignore for a moment, because that could really help you sort of like rush into things and dive right into the sheets or right into touching, which can blind you completely. But
Oh, we're on form.
I'm not doing it purposely. I swear I'm not doing it purposely. But I was saying, what was I saying? That again, it might be good for like a first couple of date things, but I think for the long run, you're sort of just postponing the inevitable, because again, there's so many aspects to love and there's so many components to it, and you need to use all of your senses when choosing a partner.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like it's, especially since I don't think they really care about, I think, what, they probably don't want a lot of people to end up together because they want the drama.
They do want to.
And they want the drama. And case in point, when season 4, I think there was like at least two couples who ended up switching their chosen person, which just goes to show that it has nothing to do with not seeing them
Yeah.
and not having any physical attraction to them. Because I think, who was it? I think I wrote down the names somewhere.
Yeah, there was the
Where
Russian.
Zach, who was dating this Russian girl, I think she was,
Yeah.
and then he switched to Bliss midway through because they didn't have any physical attraction. So
Well, she didn't have physical attraction to him.
yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I would say, I'm gonna say this. physical attraction is not everything,
No.
but you don't want to be with someone who kind of repulses you.
Well, that would be yeah.
No, but there's something to say, but this is completely subjective and to each their own. But I've got the I've got a type. I think
Yeah.
most women have a type, and they kind of look similar because it's the whole, maybe Prince Charming or just like this buff guy. Everybody can, like, every single person can say physically this is the type of person that I prefer. And then
Yeah.
there are people that like really repulse me. Like I can't deal with people who have bad teeth. I'm sorry. It's just, I can't. You need to
Yeah.
have good dental hygiene.
I can understand that. That's disgusting.
And yeah, so sorry.
But it's
But
okay.
then there is
We're open
everything.
here.
Exactly. And then we're saying what we feel. It's our podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then there's everything in between of, guys that are not my amazing type, but they don't particularly repulse me, but I'm not feeling the attraction. I'm open to get to know these guys because then you can develop a connection over time because of,
Hmm.
how you feel around them, how they make you feel, and things like that. And so Love is Blind is not doing that, because
No.
the real test would have, average people, not these good
Hmm.
looking people. They would just have average people, or even people who are, under average, to see really how it is. And then you get the real thing, and just people who do realize that it's not important and things like that. So yeah, so that's why dating somebody in the dark doesn't help, because you want to make sure that they don't, have these things. Imagine you're going to date someone who looks exactly like your father.
Ugh. Yeah.
I mean,
No.
you want to
That's
see them.
disturbing.
You want to see them. So, physicality doesn't make everything. I mean, next time when we do this podcast with our guys, my
Yeah.
boyfriend, he very early on said that I wasn't his type. He said, you're a beautiful woman and everything, but you're not the usual type of woman I would go for.
Yeah.
And that's just a perfect example of just, I mean, fine. We still got, we got to know each other, and it went very fast, and it was kind of like just, we meshed with each other really well. But I'm not the type of person he goes for usually. And if he had shut the door on that, then we wouldn't be together today.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know what? I actually feel like a lot of times we don't really know what we want. We feel like we think we know what we want, but then we don't really. And a lot of times when we bit what we want now, we find most success. And often people date the same type of typecast because that's their type, but then they keep on failing because they're not willing to, stretch the boundaries a bit, or just, go a bit out of what they're used to.
This is what
And
happened in the last season of
mhm,
Love is Blind, where what's his name? We're so bad with names. But basically
yeah,
they really clicked in the pods, and then they came out and he said, you're really not my type, and he was just not able to go beyond that.
yeah, yeah. It happens a lot. Well, look, I also think that one of the main things that differentiate friendship and a romantic relationship is the physical attraction, the physical touch, the chemistry and things like that. So obviously, if you're just talking beyond the wall without the physical touch, it's just a friendship at that point. You know what I mean? It's not, which is important. It's important to be friends in a relationship, but you have to have that attraction to sort of differentiate
I mean,
whether it's just a friendship or not.
what makes our relationship different, and by our, I mean you and I, from yours with your boyfriend or mine with my boyfriend, is that kind of physical attraction and that
Hmm.
tactileness and just things like that.
Yeah.
Because even, okay, fine, we are, far away from each other geographically, but even if sometimes, JT and I, we are in different areas, and so we call. What makes that call different is that, because he might tell me I'm beautiful, I might send him a kiss, and And you are
Yeah.
beautiful, Michelle, by the way, you know this. Uh,
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. But it's just, we are
So are
attracted to.
you, by the
Oh,
way.
I'm just admiring my roses. Uh,
Yes.
but no, it's that thing, we want to. I want to attract him. I want to flirt with him. I want to have that kind of
Hmm.
sexual kind of undertone that you
Yeah.
cannot have if you don't know what that person looks like.
No, you can't. And then when you see them, it's sort of, and here's the problem is that when you postpone it, it's even more painful because now you have this connection that you built in the pods, but then you're sort of even more disappointed because you see each other and you see that there's no attraction or they're just not for you, they're not your type or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you're sort of like just even more disappointed, you're even more hurt because you're more emotionally invested into it. So yeah, it's important to not, you know, base all your choices on physicality, but if you're taking it away completely, then again, you're going into it blind, and I don't like doing things without my eyes open.
Yeah. I mean, fun after fun. But I agree. I
I
mean,
know.
that you don't want to go into things blind. And
Yeah,
the whole expression, I mean, it's not that deep, but love is blind. It doesn't mean that you don't need to care about what they look like. It means that some of the things they do, you can just close your eyes and it doesn't exist
yeah,
because of them. That's what that means. But going into any situation, you want to be fully aware.
yeah. Oh, and you know what else, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is I feel like the physical part or the appearance part or the chemistry part that you can only feel when you're together is how you also differentiate which person you actually want to be with. Because obviously, in the pods, you see this a lot. They catch feelings or they like multiple people. And so I feel like at the end of the day, it's so much harder to decide who to go with. And normally, the chemistry you have with the person or the physical attraction that you have with the person is what will break that tie. And when you don't have that, you're more prone to making mistakes or going for the wrong person, in my humble opinion, I guess.
Yeah, completely. I'd obviously 100% agree. I mean, the whole dating several people and things like that, I get that. I mean, you don't want to be, you and I have slightly different things of when it comes to helping single women, where you're going to focus your
Yeah,
priority on getting them to be good feeling single, and I'm going to focus my priority after they've done that work. Then I'm going to get them to dating things again. And I'll tell them you
yeah,
can date several people at the same time. Like, this is a priority. You're not wasting time here. But it's only a couple of people, and it's they know very quickly how they feel around these people. And
mm-hmm.
usually women, I don't know about men, but usually women, they can feel when the guy, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah,
And being in a different place, like having a wall between you, you don't get that just like energy exchange of just,
no,
this non-palpable thing of just, you can't tell.
yeah. And I feel like a lot of times, like you're literally talking to a wall, so you don't know how your words are landing. You don't know how they're being taken. You can't jump off each other's reactions or facial expressions or eye contact. There's a lot of things that are getting lost here. And I think it's good to, at least in the beginning, to not put all your eggs in one basket and to date a few people and see what's best for you. But again, without having that person right there in the room with you, then what are you really doing? So again, we're circling back to the fact this is just for entertainment because it's a social. They say it's a social experiment, but obviously, with just about a 10% success rate, it's not a very successful
Yeah.
experiment, and yet it continues to a third, fourth, and probably fifth season because people are watching it because people don't care about the success rate. People just want the entertainment and want to see other people crumble in love. I don't know, to feel sort of not alone in that kind of distress of
Yeah.
finding love.
Yeah.